My friends, today we're about to take a deep dive in looking at how Internet Computer Protocol is changing the internet. Internet Computer Protocol is a cryptocurrency where you can build your entire application fully on chain. From the website, the backend, the database, the pictures, the videos. It's the only cryptocurrency that can do this, which is why I'm devoting all my content on this channel to talking about Internet Computer. It is the most advanced technology we have in crypto. And on this live stream, I'm going to focus on really engaging with the chat and answering as many questions as you have while diving into what I see are the most exciting things happening on Internet Computer today, the biggest things you need to know about. So if you're new to Internet Computer, the very first thing to start with is understanding that it is a full stack crypto development platform. No other crypto can you build everything on chain. You can put 5 gigabytes of data on chain on Internet Computer. $5 will put a gigabyte of data on chain for a year. That is super cheap. And if you're wondering why does on chain matter? If it's not on chain, then it's not accountable, it's not transparent, it's not having all the benefits of blockchain that all these other, that the blockchain itself has. For example, if you build a crypto game and it's not on chain, then all the resources that make the game valuable are not on chain, which means the value's not on chain. If we've seen the direction crypto is going in the future, the direction crypto is going in the future is that on-chain is the new internet. And Internet Computer is building this new internet. It's the only thing building this new internet, which is really exciting. Before I got into Internet Computer Protocol so heavily, my top positions were in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Once I discovered that Internet Computer was this massive breakthrough in technology, I felt this massive pressure to get rid of everything and put it into Internet Computer. Thank you to all of you that are members on the channel. Let me show you some analytics that are really exciting about Internet Computer right now. We've got some big things coming on Internet Computer, and they're coming because you can't build them anywhere else. So one thing we've seen, the daily active addresses. Now these do not count voting. These do not count the majority of things you do on Internet Computer. These are only addresses that are transacting ICP. And that's a very small amount because ICP is a crypto development platform where you can build everything on chain. Like my whole website. My website is on chain. And it's so much cheaper and simpler. And the question you might want to ask is, well, why are people going to build on ICP? Because there's so much stuff you can do building on ICP. It's cheaper. The hosting is decentralized. It's worldwide. It's cheaper and faster to put my website on ICP compared to other hosting. And it's fully scalable, which now that means the transactions, the daily active address does not represent the vast majority of what's going on ICP. But what we've recently seen is that in the last few days, the number of active addresses just spiked and doubled. And we had thousands of new addresses yesterday. But what's also really exciting is there's a lot of new interest in ICP. In the last month alone, actually that's going to be last like 45 days or so, we've had 20,000 new ICP wallets with the address with a balance greater than 0, and we've had 10,000 more wallets in just the last 45 days that have a balance greater than 1. Celtic Knight, thank you very much for the 99-cent super chat. First chat of the stream. And we've also had, 6,000 more wallets. An increase in balances greater than 10 in just 45 days. That has increased by 10+% in just 45 days. These are some big growth metrics here, and balances greater than 100 has also spiked. It looks like the balances greater than 100 has spiked well more than 10% in the last 45 days. And even the balances greater than 1,000. There are some serious people loading up ICP right now. Binance just ran out of ICP in their hot wallet yesterday. And what we're also seeing, we're seeing a lot of ICP getting locked up right now. So let me go back and check the chat. Jessica, Bert, Celtic Knight, thank you again for the chat. What the most important thing I see with my own investing is that I look longer term. The biggest mistake I've made in 9 years in crypto has been thinking short term. What I see with ICP is that I want to invest in something that is going to go up indefinitely, not look at price spikes, but I want to look at something where the value, the utility, the usage, the building is going to increase indefinitely. And ICP has the ability to do this because it is a new way to build the entire internet. Now think about how much value there is in the whole internet. Amazon Web Services is worth more than $1 trillion. There's 49 million websites hosted on Amazon Web Services. The first place this is a big deal is in crypto. Because if you're wondering, well, why would someone build on ICP instead of on Amazon Web Services? I've got my website on ICP because it's cheaper and more scalable. The main problem you have hosting a website is you either get cheap or scalable. You don't usually get both. So if I've done all these different kinds of websites myself. I've been an entrepreneur online for 12 years. I've had websites on a bunch of different hosts with all kinds of content management systems. Usually you either get cheap or scaling. So if you get a cheap website, what will happen is you'll pay like $100 for a year or something, and if your website goes viral, which my website has went viral a few times out of nowhere, and if you go viral, what happens, your cheap hosting website will crash because you host it on a small amount of server memory on the cloud, and then if that's exceeded, the whole website just comes to a halt. Or if you host your website on something more expensive, it can scale, but then it costs a lot more. So ICP is absolutely perfect, where you can host your website on ICP, and it's so cheap that at this rate, it looks like I can have my website on ICP for like $5 or $10 for a year. And if it goes viral, if my website goes viral, all I have to do is have extra cycles ready that are made from burning ICP and just leave $20, $30, $40, $50 of cycles in my wallet. And then if 1 million people hit my website in one day, my website can handle all that traffic, and it just burns through my wallet balance. So and in the meantime, it costs almost nothing on a regular daily basis to host my website. So that's why, from a regular person's point of view, rebuilding the internet on ICP is really exciting. Now, if you're let's say the most lucrative case to build on ICP right now is if you've got a crypto game or real world assets or NFTs, basically anything you'd want to do in crypto. ICP is the best place to build right now because it's the simplest place to build. What you may not understand if you're in crypto is how these applications are actually built. So I'll explain that to you, because then you can see how ICP is really building the internet. So most crypto applications, for example, take a crypto game, and I won't name one in particular because many of them are built the same way. Many of these crypto games, they are built by first, they make a coin, often before they've done much. They'll make a coin, and they'll spin up a coin on one blockchain or another, and then they'll try and raise money. In some cases, they don't appear to even have done anything to build the game to begin with. They make a coin and maybe put some screenshots out or make some promises about the game, and then try and make some money just getting the initial token out there. Then, for the ones that are actually honest and are really building the game, what they have to do is build a game on some centralized infrastructure like Amazon or Google. They have to do all the work that a regular game developer has to do to build a game, And then they have to do all this extra work to integrate blockchain and tokens into it, which means getting their NFTs on a marketplace and integrating all of that, building a website and getting the token integrated with all that, and then put all that stuff together. And if you played some of these crypto games, it's very complicated and annoying and not something the average person would do. For example, a crypto game on, let's say, Immutable X that I played, Gods Unchained. Playing Gods Unchained on Immutable X required you to have a MetaMask wallet, to sign up on and connect your wallet to Immutable X, then connect your wallet to the NFT marketplace, and then sign up for a Gods Unchained account, and then link all that stuff with your Gods Unchained account. And you don't even have any crypto yet. Then, if you really, Phil, thank you, Phil, Barone, and the Cruises for the big $20 super chat. I've also had 2 one-on-one calls on my website with Phil. Nice to see you and recognize you, Phil. Really appreciate all the support you've given. So look at all that stuff. From a user's point of view, that's annoying to figure all that stuff out. And I've been in crypto since 2014. It still was annoying to figure it out for me. Your average gamer is not going to do all that stuff. And think about the developer that has to build all that stuff, that has to build all these connections and get all these applications to work together. On Internet Computer Protocol, because you can build the website, launch the coin, build the game, and have the account, you can do all that stuff in one spot, which makes building everything so much easier. You now can build a website that already, because it's hosted on ICP, you can easily just integrate any token on ICP directly in the website because it's all in the same infrastructure. And you can build the game on ICP, which means once people have one single account that you don't even have to create, you just connect an existing ICP wallet like Internet Identity. People can sign in once with an account they already have, play the game, trade NFTs, swap tokens, and do it all with an account that they already have that is secured automatically with their existing device. And you've got things like Chainkey Bitcoin already live, Chainkey Ethereum is coming. Internet Computer is the easiest place to build a complete crypto app, from idea to website to token to database to user profiles and all of that. And what's really cool about this, yes, Immutable X is on Ethereum. And because it's on Ethereum, there's tons of fees. There's big expenses they have to pay. It's a bad user experience in terms of it's complicated. It's not simple to do all this stuff. When you've got Internet Computer Protocol, you can do all this stuff in one place with one wallet. And it's not even a wallet where you've got all your other crypto in it. Bill, thank you for becoming a member as well. If you want to buy other coins on ICP, there's a website called ICP Coins, and it has direct links. So if you'd like to buy coins, what you can do is go to, for example, I have some OpenChat. On OpenChat, you then have a link right here to go to Sonic, to go to ICP Swap or ICP Dex. I use Sonic or ICP Dex usually. So what I'll do is I'll click on this Sonic link and make sure, and then what it'll ask me to do is sign in with my internet identity. So I've got entire tutorials on how to sign in with your internet identity. So you sign in with your internet identity, and then it'll get your wallet connected here. Now, I encourage you to do some serious research before buying tokens. Like, look at why you'd rather have a token than ICP. All right, so once you've signed in with your wallet, now you'll have an address in the upper right. This is the address to send your ICP to if you want to load up the Sonic wallet. So keep in mind, when you're using apps on Internet Computer, every application has a different wallet address, even though it's all with, for example, my internet identity. It generates a different wallet address with all of these, which is great. Because if I screw up, with a swap or something, it doesn't mess with the internet computer I have in my main wallet. So then what I do is I just type in ICP. I type in one ICP, and then I can see how many chat I get here. So I get one ICP right now, gives me 18 chat. And I don't have a balance here, but then what I would do is I would click on swap right here, and then the tokens would appear in my wallet in just a minute. And then the next thing I would do is go over to assets, and under assets, it would have my chat listed. And from there, I would withdraw my chat and send it over to the network nervous system. I'll bring that up in the background. So then I would do that. I would withdraw from there, and I would click on open chat in the network nervous system and send my tokens into open chat here, which from there I have the ability to stake my open chat tokens and then get a return on them. So that's the easiest way to buy tokens on ICP. And that's what's so awesome about Internet Computer is once people come into the ecosystem, because it is all on chain, then when you build something like a crypto game on Internet Computer, now assuming that the game was built on Internet Computer in a way that you could use. All right, so there's different ways you could build the game. It is possible to build a game on Internet Computer, say a customizable card game like Gods Unchained, which I played and had a lot of fun playing Gods Unchained. I've traded tens of thousands of dollars of NFTs on Immutable X. I just see that the infrastructure is problematic for getting mass adoption for something like that. Whereas ICP, the infrastructure is set up for mass adoption, and it allows you to do things on ICP that you cannot do anywhere else. On ICP, you could build a crypto game like Gods Unchained, and then you could actually sell the entire game. You could sell the entire game, or as an NFT that someone else could buy the whole game, and then they could change the cards however they wanted to, and everybody who was playing the first game could then use the same cards in the second game. Do you see how cool that is? Like, because of doing everything on chain, it allows for possibilities that don't exist anywhere else because it's on chain. Yes, I do have Plug Wallet as well. There's a bunch of different wallets on ICP. All right, so I see this is a very common narrative. I'll show you in this deep dive here. So there's a very common narrative that is being put out that ICP has no adoption, it's going nowhere, apps built on ICP are shutting down, adopted applications elsewhere, life-changing dollars elsewhere. Well, I just showed you some analytics on people interacting with ICP itself. We've seen the amount of addresses increase that have a balance greater than 1. The amount of addresses in 45 days has increased by 11,000. That is more than a 10% increase in around 45 days. That is a lot of growth in a short time when nothing big, no singularity has happened. And the addresses with a balance greater than 10, greater than 100, and greater than 1,000 have all increased at a similar rate. Here's some other growth metrics that are pretty amazing here. And for everyone that says the network is not being used, look at it. Just simply look at it. The adoption is very consistent. You're seeing the amount of canisters, which are the big innovation on Internet Computer. Canisters you run smart contracts in canisters on Internet Computer, and the canisters can have up to 96 gigabytes of data in them, and you can run smart contracts on all those. So in the last 2 years since this has been out, 2.5 years, there have been over 300 and 60,000 canisters that have been launched. If you look over the last year, the cycle burn rate gives you an idea of how much the network is being used, that people are paying to use the network. And what you'll notice, look at it. Just look at it. The average cycle burn rate is continuing to go way, way up. So it was going down for a while, but the last few months, the average cycle rate has just kicked off. It dropped a bit. The average cycle rate dropped a bit, and now the average cycle rate is getting close to all-time highs now. And there have been massive spikes where a lot of computation has happened once, more than ever in the last year. If you look at it, the average amount, cycles, you burn ICP to get cycles, and cycles are used to pay for computation on the network. The average rate of cycles being used is consistently going up. And people are not just going to pay for nothing, like they're paying for computation. This is a very good metric to see how the network is getting used. Here's something that is a really good indicator as well. You've got major things that have just launched on Internet Computer. Chain key Bitcoin is a non-custodial layer 2, or maybe that's not the best phrase for it. Chain key Bitcoin is a layer 2 on Internet Computer that has this unique technology that Dfinity innovated, where the private key, the Internet Computer itself, interacts directly with the Bitcoin blockchain to generate addresses and private keys. The private keys are sharded among many different nodes. Therefore, you deposit Bitcoin directly on Internet Computer. You get chain key Bitcoin, which can be transacted at a very low fee, almost instantaneously in any app. So this just launched this year. There's 171,000 transactions in the last year. But look in the last 7 days, there's 46,000 in the last 7 days. And in the last month, which most of which is in the last 10 or 15 days, 75,000 transactions. So you've got close to half of all the transactions that have happened in the last year have happened within the last 10 days or so. That is explosive growth. And that is on one single ordinals marketplace. This is just one single application on ICP. Brand new, just launched. This one application has generated a bunch of chain key Bitcoin transactions because this is the first Bitcoin ordinals marketplace that is actually on chain. So to anyone that's saying that it's not being used, there's no adoption, this is very clear proof that that narrative is blatantly wrong. Not only is the adoption on ICP strong, it looks like we are just at the beginning. We're in the absolute ground layer. Like for me, I got into Bitcoin in 2014. It feels like I'm in ICP. Being in ICP now, to me, is the equivalent of being in Bitcoin in 2014. You are really early on it. It's hidden. It's hidden because I am the Michael Saylor of ICP. I like that. So there is no maximum supply for ICP. Now, I know some people ask, well, if it doesn't have a max supply, it's infinitely inflationary. Look at most of the other cryptos up there. They're infinitely inflationary as well. Some of the cryptos that have skyrocketed lately are infinitely inflationary as well. Infinite inflation is not a problem as long as the rate of inflation is reasonable and the usage of the network actually goes up. ICP Will says, I have some web shops, but I want to migrate my websites to ICP. What effect will this have on my Google search positions? That is a great question. ICP has not affected my search position at all. So if you search for Jerry Banfield on Google, I'll make sure nothing crazy's happened in the search because you never know. But here, so if you search for Jerry Banfield on Google, you'll see I'm proud that I've got my own little knowledge graph. That means you're somebody important when Google has a specific panel for you. How ego flattering. So if you search Jerry Banfield on Google, before I had my website on ICP, it was in the second position behind my YouTube channel, my original YouTube channel. I do everything besides crypto on my original YouTube channel. My next, what I'm doing right now is I'm rotating a live stream schedule every other day. I'm doing affirmations for health on my original channel tomorrow. Would love for you to join us, and then we'll be back on the crypto channel the next day. So I can say that swapping my website to being hosted on ICP did not affect my search engine ranking, because while an unoptimized website on any host will load slow, which can lower your search ranking, you can optimize your website hosting on ICP to load fast just as you can on other hosts. So I think with your web shop, as long as you're getting a good user experience on your website, then it shouldn't affect your Google search positions. What's important with a web shop, what's nice if you've got your website hosted on ICP, you can accept payments. You can build it directly into your website to accept payments in any coin that's on ICP, including ICP, Chainkey Bitcoin, Chainkey Ethereum. There's going to be Chainkey stable coins soon that are brought from Ethereum. And this is a really smart strategy by Dfinity. Instead of trying to get all their own stable coins launched on their own network. Stan, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. I'll answer that in just a second. Instead of trying to get all their own stable coins built on the network, what Internet Computer's done is they built the first technology in the world that is both a Bitcoin and an Ethereum layer 2. And by being an Ethereum layer 2, they're going to bring all the main stable coins as Chainkey coins directly onto Internet Computer, which means USDT, USDC, and I imagine many of the other big stable coins will all be supported. So it looks like Internet Computer is going to have the biggest collection of coins out of potentially anywhere. And it looks like what I'm seeing, some of these coins, once they get the Chainkey version on Internet Computer, I imagine some of these are going to try and migrate to an SNS DAO and move their apps onto Internet Computer as well. Next question Stan asked is there a roadmap for attainable community nodes for ICP? Right now, from what I understand, it is expensive and requires technical expertise to run a node. I'm not sure exactly how much the hardware costs, but from what I saw, you're going to need thousands of dollars and potentially tens of thousands of dollars to build the newest generation of an ICP node, and that's generally going to need to be hosted somewhere like a data center where you can have a good internet connection, but you could potentially run it from home in theory, depending on how your internet is set up. But I do not know that much about that aspect of it. I imagine, though, that there will be perhaps even things like tokens that people launch to allow community-run nodes, where somebody launches a token and the token raises funds for individuals to essentially share in ownership of nodes. So I do not have a node myself because I don't have the technical expertise and the time available. I could learn the technical expertise, but I don't feel that's a good use of my time. Being here with you is, to me, the best use of your time. Josh says, what's a good exit strategy for ICP? So my strategy for ICP is based on what I've learned from being in crypto since 2014. I remember when Bitcoin hit 170, I bought 10 Bitcoin when it hit 170. And I bought like 10 Bitcoin when it was before that at 180. And I bought like 10 Bitcoin at 190. And I bought like 10 or 20 Bitcoin when it was in the low 200s. And I was impatient. And I sold all that Bitcoin at a small profit in the 200s. Now look how much Bitcoin's worth. I did the same thing with Ethereum. I loaded up Ethereum under $10. And I sold it at a small profit. And what I've learned is if you can find the best technology way ahead of time, the ideal strategy is to get in and hang on for the ride. And what's absolutely ideal about ICP that Bitcoin does not have, and Ethereum has, but only if you can stake 32 Ethereum yourself, Internet Computer, because of the governance, you can earn. I'll show you what I'm actually earning. Like, what better thing to do than show you what I'm actually earning? So I'm going to grab my Neuron ID. I'm going to sign in. I'm going to show you what I'm actually earning on my Internet Computer right now. To me, the ideal strategy, I'm just consistently accumulating more Internet Computer, and then I've got the voting rewards, which this is, to me, there's nothing that beats this. So I've copied my Neuron ID, and what I'm going to do is search for my Neuron in the Internet Computer dashboard, and it'll show you my rewards that I'm getting. So right now, I have 2,802 ICP that's locked for 8 years. I'm not dissolving it. I have a little less than a 1% age bonus. And I'm getting on average the equivalent of 1.29 ICP a day. Now, some days it's like 2, some days it's like none. And this, you have to vote on every single proposal to get this. Yes or no. This, to me, is the ideal strategy. Lock and leave it locked. Don't touch the principal, maybe ever. And just consistently live off the rewards. Like, that, to me, is the absolute smartest thing to do. Because where I've ran into the most trouble as a crypto investor is with my own impatience. With my own impatience, taking profits and then wrecking my principal. Like in 2017, 2018, I sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of crypto that I had started by DCAing like $50 a day into Bitcoin. Back in, after I sold all my Bitcoin at a tiny profit out of fear in 2014, then I started DCAing back in 2015 and 2016. I'd accumulated $10,000 of Bitcoin. And by 2017 and 2018, I rolled that into other altcoins, and I sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of profit. I did the exact strategy that most of the main crypto or the biggest crypto people are telling you to do. I did that successfully. I made hundreds of thousands. I paid around 100,000 in tax alone, which was inefficient. And then what was I left with? By the end of 2019, I had spent all of the money. I had no principal left, although I did have some crypto staked that continued to pay me, which is why I've made money 9 years in a row in crypto. No matter what I've done, after that first year where I lost thousands just buying Bitcoin high and selling it low, I learned a valuable lesson. Don't lose money in crypto. And what I've learned is the ideal strategy is to find something with passive income and massive utility that's massively undervalued, and do not mess with the principal. Leave the principal in and just live off of the rewards indefinitely. Because when you mess with the principal, then you can end up getting back to zero, as I did. If I had taken a similar strategy with Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would have millions of dollars of Bitcoin and Ethereum today. But here's what's the best part. I would have done almost nothing. I spent all this time researching and trading altcoins, but I found Bitcoin in 2014. I found Ethereum in 2016, under $10. I literally didn't need to do anything. I could have saved thousands of hours of time in crypto and thousands of transactions. I could have literally done nothing and had millions of dollars today. There's no strategy that beats that. There is no strategy that beats taking a relatively small amount of time to research and find which technology is really exciting and grossly undervalued. Bitcoin in 2014, Ethereum in 2016. I had both of them. I had it all done correct, but I was impatient to make more money faster. And I lost everything because of that. And by losing, I mean I took huge fat profits. I mean, I remember sending these transactions to Coinbase, like $20,000 worth of Bitcoin, selling all of it, dumping it in the bank. And then I bought a lot of stuff. I bought a house. I had a $10,000 computer. You're like, where would you even buy a $10,000? I had a $10,000 computer. I used to do crazy crypto giveaways too. I'd give away $1,000 in a single stream. I'd go to the grocery store and buy all organic stuff and juice it. $300-$400 bills at the grocery store. I'd buy my kids everything they asked for. You should have seen them carts. And then I put over 100,000 into starting a website, because after making those massive gains in crypto, I felt like I couldn't lose. That I was so intelligent to make all this money in crypto that, sure, I can take 100,000 and start a business. Why not? Or start a new website, and I'm sure it'll work. By 2019, I was in the end of the year, I was in the worst financial position of my life. So, the ideal strategy is to find technology that looks like it will achieve huge adoption, that has a token with massive utility, that also pays out rewards for voting, and then just lock that principal up, don't mess with the principal, and DCA in and leave it. So that's exactly what I'm doing. That is, my example is what I'm doing. I have 2,800 ICP locked up for 8 years. I get 1.29 ICP on average a day. And I mean, this to me is, I don't have to do anything except vote on proposals or follow somebody. Are you understanding this? I don't have to do anything. Think about how busy you are. Think about how many things you have to do. Some of y'all might not be busy. If you're able to be here and hang out, that's cool. I've got a lot of stuff to do. One of the main things I've encouraged people to do in one-on-one calls is to, what's up, Scott? Nice to see you. Puppet Master, Prison Mike, J-Frog. I'll shout out some more of you. Brain Amazing. What you don't want to do. Lisa coming through with the 5 crypto, Jerry Banfield crypto gift memberships. Lisa, thank you for all those gift memberships. Lisa's been following since 2020 on Facebook, which I've since deleted my Facebook page. Thank you, Lisa, for following everywhere and for being here after being so many other places. What you don't want to do is take a bunch of time. You got to think about how much in crypto, what most people don't tell you is that you need to calculate the time you're putting in plus the money you might make. If you put 1,000 hours in just to get one of these 100Xs, and it takes a ton of time and energy to do that, many of the times you'll find all you were making was $20 or $30 an hour. And what were you doing? You were often doing work that didn't really add any value to the world, that wasn't useful to anyone else. To me, the ideal strategy is to be as time efficient as possible. Like, I found if I didn't create content around ICP, I mean, I'd just leave it there and do nothing and watch, except vote, read a little bit about the community every day and just let it do its thing. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I wouldn't have to do anything with crypto on a daily basis. That's the ideal strategy, is to take as little of your time as possible once you've done your research to get your returns. Cryptoholic, you bought your first ICP after watching. Nice. So I don't know what's going to happen in the short term with the prices. And this video is supported. Joker's Wild, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. I will address that quite a bit in just a second. So I'm grateful Definity, after I did like 100 videos about ICP, just because that's the best technology I see on the market, because that's where I'm investing my own money. you all collectively encouraged me to apply for a community grant by Definity, which is the lead contributor to Internet Computer. I applied for a community grant, and they gave me 500 ICP up front and another 2,500 worth of ICP when the grant is finished, in exchange for making videos for a month about ICP, which I was going to do that anyway. So 66% of you voted on YouTube that I should accept the money. That was the first money I've taken to make a video at all this year. And one reason I took that is because I've agreed not to talk about the price, and I've agreed not to just go nuts on like bashing other cryptos. You know, I can talk about my experience with a crypto, but like don't do one of those videos I've done before about this crypto versus ICP for my grant videos. So I will not be talking about the price at all in December for ICP, and the day-to-day price doesn't really matter either. The big question is this technology, does this technology have huge potential for use and adoption? Is this technology useful for the world? Are people really using it? What I see is that this technology on Internet Computer, it is the best technology in all of crypto. If you want to build an application and not have it's a simple way to build an application with crypto and to have it be able to be truly decentralized. And there's a massive need for this. Governments need, maybe not the US government, but some of these other governments are tired of building stuff, either having to build all their own servers or build stuff on US controlled cloud computing platforms where they're getting spied on and controlled and shut off or sanctioned. We collectively need an infrastructure that people can build on, that you can't just have somebody in one country turn it off. So now this leads us to Joker's Wild, who thank you for the £5 super chat and for being a member. Joker's Wild says, I only just found out about ICP. I feel cheated that 99% of crypto use AWS in this ecosystem. It's mind-blowing. How did I miss this? And that's a really good question. And the question behind that is, why are most, in terms of the very most popular crypto YouTubers and creators on other platforms and crypto journalists, why aren't they talking about ICP more? Well, there's many reasons for that. I have done a lot of videos on that you might find informative on that subject. So if you go to some of my recent videos, you'll see that there's a good one I did about, I found the crypto master plan, where I talk about that in detail. I talk about how cryptocurrency YouTube actually works. Those are good videos. Since you all are here right now, I'll go ahead and give a summary. Lisa dropped 5 more gift memberships. Holy Lisa. Somebody asked right when the stream started, is Lisa my wife? Lisa is in the demographic of being a grandmother, a mother figure in my life. Lisa is a grandmother, but Lisa's in the grandmother demographic of being more like a mother to me than in the wife demographic. Say demographic one more time. Lisa's like the stream mom. My mom is not into watching live streams, but Lisa's like the stream mom. So thank you for the 10 gift memberships. The memberships give you that star next to your name. And I think they do some other stuff too. I'll take a look at that. So let's talk about some of the reasons that Internet Computer, once you learn about it, Celtic Knight, thank you as well for a gift crypto membership. I think that's your first gift membership here. Thank you very much, Celtic Knight. So the question, if you hear all this about how ICP is giving a new infrastructure to build the whole internet on, the logical thing to ask, as many of you have asked, is well, why isn't everybody talking about this? Like, you start to get suspicious. Like, all right, if this is actually that good, everybody should be talking about it, right? Like, this should be all over the biggest crypto channels. They should just be doing like I am and talking about it all the time. So why aren't they doing that? There's a lot of reasons they're not doing that. And one of the biggest, there's a bunch of factors that go into it. So let's look at it like this. I love the dating analogy for this. Let's picture you married somebody at the time you were dating. There weren't that many options. So you just married somebody you didn't really like just to have a family. And the relationship's not that great, but this is your partner now and you're making the most of it. And then let's say you move and now you live in a place where there's all kinds of, where there's another really attractive partner that wants to be with you and that you'd love to be with. What's your wife gonna, or your husband, however you want to put it for yourself, how's your partner gonna feel in that situation? That's crypto right now. These wallets keep constantly signing in my internet identity, which maybe I'll close some of these. Internet computer is a threat because it's so good. Some of these cryptos are very threatened by internet computer. The same as you might think that a spouse might be threatened by another potential spouse. So picture all these, almost all these other cryptos, which are basically just, in the simplest terms, copies of Bitcoin and Ethereum. They haven't really innovated on a technological basis. Or they're a token on one of these chains. Almost every crypto is just basically a copy of Bitcoin or Ethereum. They've put some little features on it, they've sped certain things up, but at a technological level, it's essentially a copy with a few changes. Like if you copied my paper in class and used ChatGPT to rewrite it, you copied my paper and then you didn't really make any new ideas. You just copied my paper and made a few surface level changes to make it look different. That's everything in crypto besides ICP. Now what happens when ICP comes rolling in? ICP is like the Grim Reaper for many of these cryptos. Because once developers, most importantly, once developers find that they can build a full stack crypto app from start to finish on ICP, are they going to build on these other chains? No. Why would a developer want to build somewhere where they have to integrate all the crypto technology and then use Amazon Web Services and then build a website and use all these different things that often don't work that well together when they could just build the whole thing on internet computer? For that reason, a lot of ICP is intentionally ignored, intentionally fudded, and intentionally left out because it's like how I had a friend. I've mentioned this before. Let me know if I've said this when you've been here before. I had a friend back when I was single, and I was single like I'm gonna hit on every girl around me single. And I got lots of rejections. Some fake phone numbers, lots of phone numbers that didn't turn into dates, lots of dating messages that went nowhere, and lots of first dates that didn't turn into second dates, and a few second and third dates here and there, a few little relationships. Lisa with the trio of 5 gift crypto memberships. Good Lord, Lisa Ladybug. Going off. Thank you for 15 gift subs now on this one stream, Lisa. So I had a friend back when I was single like this. This guy told me about his brother. Now, this was my best friend at the time. We spent hours and hours playing video games every week. We were both in law enforcement, and we're pretty close. This guy waited 2 years until I was dating my wife to tell me that he had 3 sisters. That's definitely, the majority of them were hot. He hid his sisters from me because he knew as soon as he mentioned his sisters, let me see some pictures. Where do they live? Maybe you tell him about me. He didn't want to deal with me hitting on his sisters, making jokes about his sisters, trying to date his sisters, as I had done with my other friend's sisters. He intentionally hid his sisters from me for 2 years, even though he was my best friend. That is internet computer in crypto right now. People are intentionally not telling you about it, because once you find out about it, people are afraid of you. These people who have bags of these other coins are afraid of you dumping your entire crypto bag into internet computer, which is exactly what I did. That's why people aren't telling you about it. That's one reason. Because once you find out that internet computer exists, for me, it ruined all the rest of crypto for me. Like, well, I don't want to go back to some layer 1 that does nothing except transactions, and you have to use Amazon Web Services to even make it do anything besides transactions. Like if you want an NFT, then you have to put it on, and I say Amazon Web Services interchangeably. IP, FS, you often have to dig into the developer documentation on most of these cryptos to even see that stuff. These cryptos are very intentionally trying to get you to believe that when you're playing this crypto game, it's all on chain. It's not, except on ICP. However, my friend could only keep his sister's secret for so long because eventually he had weddings of theirs to go to. Eventually, he had his wedding where his sisters were there. It's just like ICP. ICP is only going to be able to be kept secret to the bigger crypto community for so long. When you look at the team behind ICP, they have the absolute best talent I've seen in cryptography and blockchain anywhere. That's why they've built all this stuff. Yes, and I put the paid promotion disclaimer on here, even though if you do the math on how much I got paid for this, like individual live stream, it probably comes out to like 20 ICP, which that's like a tip at this point. Like, I would not do a sponsored stream for $100 or whatever that it comes out to with the ICP price today. I wouldn't consider doing that. Do you realize cryptos are offering me thousands, several hundred at a minimum, thousands to do a sponsored video for them? And I say, no, I'm not going to promote your coin that I don't think has value. I don't care how much money you give me. No. I've ignored a whole lot of requests. I've ignored requests to partner with exchanges where I can make $1,000 a day if I just send you over there to copy trade. So the amount of ICP I've been given to sponsor, I appreciate it, but at the same time, it's not enough to alter what I say in a meaningful way, except I won't talk price and I won't go rip on and destroy specific coins. And if that is... So there's another reason ICP is being hidden also. It's because of both confirmation bias and secret payments. Confirmation bias is where if you're already holding bags of something, you don't want to find something better than your bag unless you're willing to unload your bag. So a lot of crypto is essentially confirmation bias. A lot of crypto creators are just telling you about the coins they already have in their bag. And this, to me, someone who's done a huge amount of research in crypto, it's shocking to me to see when you look at some of these videos out there that are saying the top 5 coins that are going to do well in the next bull market. It's like the YouTuber, it's like, come on, you're literally just shilling your bag. None of these coins have any potential to go anywhere. They all suck. And you're putting top 5 coins for the next bull run. They're all terrible. That's a lot of crypto is people... The moment you realize how little research many crypto creators have actually done, it's the moment where you start to decide, I really need to consider who I watch. To me, if you haven't found Internet Computer Protocol, you either haven't done that much research in crypto or you you've put all your research into confirmation bias, to confirming your own bags. Here's something I'm really excited about. This is an example of what people are building on Internet Computer that can't be built anywhere else. This is something that could bring huge adoption to Internet Computer by itself. So there's a project called Gold DAO. This project has great connections, huge amounts of money that can flow in, big ambitions, and check this out. So they're going to launch a token on the network nervous system. They're going to launch a token on the network nervous system launchpad. Anyone that's not on a prohibited IP address, and if you can change your IP address, you'll be able to get on it. So here's the proposal right now. This is the proposal right now. I already voted yes on this. So this is the proposal on Internet Computer. 32% of the voting power of Internet Computer has already voted on this. So this has got a lot of votes. This is going to launch on the launchpad for Internet Computer in the next few days. This project has 3 different basic areas. 1, real-world gold NFTs. That these are live. You can buy these right now on Yumi.io. You can buy a gram of gold right now for 14 ICP. And if you got a lot of ICP, if you got 12,000 ICP, you can buy a 1 kilogram gold bar NFT right now on Yumi. So that's stage 1. Their goal is to raise 1 million ICP. So not $1 million of ICP, 1 million ICP during the SNS swap. That's the biggest SNS swap launchpad we've seen. I think they're going to hit it. I'm almost definitely going to contribute to this myself. This is, and they're going to take 80% of the funds and lock them for 8 years. And then put those back into the SNS. I believe that's how it's going to work. So the rewards from locking 800,000 ICP will be put into the Gold DAO SNS, which will provide a lot of funding. This is something you cannot do anywhere else in crypto, and this is really good functionality. And this is going to lock up, if this is successful, 800,000 ICP for 8 years. And it's going to bring a lot of value to the Gold DAO token, which probably will get listed on centralized exchanges. This is an example of how rebuilding the internet, this is something you can't do without all this technology, or at least do it in a way that's simple to interact with. Gold DAO is a 3-phase plan where step 1 is getting these Gold DAO NFTs out, which they already have, which you can buy right now. Then step 2 is getting a gold stable coin. For example, the gold coin would have the value of whatever gold is. So the coin would be for an ounce of gold or a gram of gold, probably. That's phase 2. Then on phase 3, they're going to launch a gold-backed US dollar-pegged stable coin. And that stable coin will bring returns back into the Gold DAO SNS, while providing a gold-backed US dollar stablecoin that can be used throughout the Internet Computer ecosystem. For example, if I wanted to, when this is live, I could code it into my website. Where people could buy stuff in a gold US dollar-backed stablecoin off my website. And that'll be open to everybody on ICP, where developers with any app on ICP could build a gold US dollar-backed stablecoin into their app. Any social media app, hey, Scott Summers, I'm glad to see you got, I think somebody gave you a gift sub, because I didn't see a notification. I'm glad Scott Summers caught a gift sub. How about that? What's up, Stan, Hero, Johnny, Jeremy, Ripple Effect, 808 Bear? I'm definitely putting some ICP into Gold DAO myself. Gold DAO looks really exciting. And it's exciting because some of these other gold stable coins, you can't really get involved in them fully like you can on Gold DAO. And there will also be, because this will be on ICP, everything will be able to be swapped with almost no fees. Because the NFTs are on chain, they're fully transparent and auditable, which gives them properties that nothing else has. And this, when you see how the technology is actually getting used. For the comment before about ICP's going nowhere, it's a ghost town, there's no one building on it. This is a big project aiming to raise millions of dollars on the launch pad. This has taken a long time. This has taken years for all the pieces to be put in position to launch this. There are other projects that are noticing what's happening on Internet Computer Protocol, that are noticing there's a launch pad on Internet Computer Protocol where you can launch a fully automated DAO governance system where you can get matched funding from the Internet Computer Protocol staking through the Neurons Fund, where anyone can just participate without KYC, where you can set things up in your app like the Gold DAO having revenue from the gold US dollar backed stablecoin, gold backed US dollar stablecoin, to go straight into the SNS. There are other developers and entrepreneurs that are watching this. It will take them 6 months to a year, sometimes 2 or 3 years to actually get their big project on ICP. This is why ICP to me is, you can see proof that the organic growth and the building is happening. You can see proof the technology is doing things that can't be done anywhere else and actually be on chain. What Gold DAO's doing cannot be built somewhere else. You can't make this on another chain, because in order to do this, you have to have the NFTs fully on chain to establish trust. You need to have fully automated DAO governance. You need to have all the tokens set up to do all the transactions on chain and to put all the value back into the SNS. You can't do this somewhere else. You can only do this on ICP. And when you combine that with other developers seeing these projects, other entrepreneurs seeing what's going on, there's people right now, some of them have had calls with me, and while I can't reveal what their projects are doing, there are people looking at this infrastructure and being like, this is incredible. I'm going to build my app, my startup. I'm going to build it. I'm going to do an SNS. And that's where this is going. So you can see proof that the technology is doing things that can't be done anywhere else. You can see proof building on it. And this Gold DAO SNS launch is huge and is going to continue to raise more awareness for ICP as a place to build. But it may take a while for critical mass to happen. Lisa, thank you for being a member for 5 months on the Jerry Banfield Crypto channel through all the ups and downs of me streaming and not streaming and doing, all the ups and downs here. Thank you, Lisa, for being through all the ups and downs with me as a content creator. So TI Crip says, if I buy 20,000 ICP a day, how risky is that to stake for 8 years? Let's take that apart from my point of view, because I've staked 2,800 ICP. I've put an amount of money, I put all my crypto into ICP because I've done my research. I've now researched hundreds of hours into Internet Computer. I've actually used the technology. There's things like Open Chat. This is an application that you can see is fully functioning. It is built on chain with Internet Computer. It has a wallet. Look at the amount of tokens on this wallet. You can instantly send any of these tokens to any other user on Open Chat. You've got CK ETH. Somebody tipped me that and gave it to me. Chainkey Bitcoin, same thing here. This is the best for building a community in crypto and having functionality like doing giveaways. Look, I'll do an example. I'll give away some ICP right now in this Open Chat community to show you how this works. I'll make sure there's no crazy messages in here. Scroll down to the bottom. And look, I'll show you this. I'm going to show you what this technology can do. I'm going to give away 5 ICP right now. And we're going to give away to 20 winners, equal distribution. I'll let any user participate. And I'll still have 3 ICP left. So watch, I'm going to click send right now. And anyone who is in here is going to be able to claim this. It's divided 20 ways. So that will give every single person will get 0.25 ICP. All you got to do is come in here totally for free, click on the button to claim it, and the ICP will instantaneously pop in your wallet. This application has hundreds of thousands of users already. Look, 2 people just claimed this right now. There's already 2 people that just got this in their wallet. You can see right here. I see some of you from the live stream. I mean, people are winning. Are winning 0.25 ICP right now, literally for clicking a button. I mean, wait till somebody like Mr. Beast gets a hold of this technology. There's no other way you can do this. This is the best giveaway technology in all of crypto right now. I mean, Mr. Beast would probably break the whole application if he did this, but look at people are getting 0.25 ICP just for clicking a button on a totally free application. The link to is on jerrybanfield.com if you want to join my chat. And people are doing giveaways in my chat all the time. I mean, there's a guy named Yellow Chicken, the yellow chicken from Family Guy. He does giveaways. He does like 10 giveaways a day just in my chat. That's how, and he tips people. Look at this. 15 people have already got 0.25 ICP. It is immediately in their wallet. It is immediately able to be spent and transacted in the ICP ecosystem. Many of these names I recognize, some I don't. The whole giveaway is almost done. And look how fast this was. This has only taken about 2 or 3 minutes to do this. Nice. Romulus caught 0.25%. JMVR caught 0.25 ICP. Nice. This is proof the technology is working. People are using it. It's proof. The entire giveaway is done. I just gave away 5 ICP in a fully transparent, decentralized manner, in a completely open. This was done completely out in the open, completely fair and transparent. And let's look at some more things this technology can do. So this is my open chat, which if you want to get to the link of it is jerrybanfield.com. Click on the open chat. If you go to jerrybanfield.com and click on the open chat, you'll see these channels. I have a channel that's VIP 1 ICP. If you pay 1 ICP, you can, this is the first channel I check in here. You pay 1 ICP, you get lifetime access to the channel. It's the first channel I read. Then there's a Diamond channel where if you have a Diamond membership on OpenChat, if you click on Diamond membership on OpenChat gives you up to 1 gigabyte of on-chain data. You can send media messages up to 50 megabytes. You can create communities. You're eligible for airdrops. You can have an NFT profile pic. So this is I have a lifetime Diamond membership for 6 ICP. So this is a channel, if you're a Diamond member, you can join that. And then there's a free channel that everybody can join. This community I've made here has rapidly passed my Discord. It has rapidly passed my Discord. Now think about all the effort I've put in to build my Discord server. My open chat community has passed my Discord server. Because anybody can easily sign up in open chat, but in open chat, there's so much more functionality. TI Crypt, great question. How many users are there on open chat? What we can do is browse some of the communities. So if you click the explore button on open chat, oh, and what's really cool with open chat, so if you use my link on open chat and you click my link and sign up for an open chat account, which you can effortlessly do with internet identity or with others, and you create an open chat account, I get referral rewards, which, for example, I'll show you, look at this. I get referral rewards. If you get a diamond membership on OpenChat within the first year, I get referral rewards. So I get, here's where I got 0.1 ICP for somebody getting a monthly diamond membership. If you sign up and do a lifetime membership, I'd get 3 ICP off of that. But this still gets even better. What gets even better about this, what gets even better about OpenChat is when all of us collectively bring value to OpenChat, then we're building value in the OpenChat token. And this is what doesn't happen anywhere besides Internet Computer. So on Internet Computer, I have some OpenChat. I'll log in to show you exactly how much. So on Internet Computer, I'm holding some of the OpenChat token. Now, when I bring you to Discord, there's a link on my Discord. My Discord, I actually get notifications on my phone. So my Discord on my phone is the fastest way to get a response, but I check my OpenChat once or twice a day. So check this out. I have 277 chat tokens, and these are locked for a year, and I'm getting voting rewards on my OpenChat all the time too. I'm earning OpenChat just by voting. On Discord, when I bring you to my Discord, if Discord itself becomes a more profitable company, I have no ownership over that. True Web3 is about tokenizing ownership over the applications. And you can only do that on ICP, truly do it on ICP, because if stuff is not on chain, then you can't have any real ownership over something that's not on chain. Because if you've got a token on another blockchain and the website and the backend is all on a third-party cloud host, the tokens have no real control over where the value is being generated. And this is the same reason I've been very critical. I've been very critical of most of these tokens, because your token, your ownership, your theoretical ownership is separated from the actual assets. On OpenChat, on OpenChat, there's a functionality in here in this diamond room. So this diamond room is only open to diamond members on OpenChat, where when you click on when you go over to OpenChat and you click on diamond and you sign up for diamond, I got a lifetime membership for 6 ICP. A yearly membership is 1 ICP. Actually, I needed the VIP 1 ICP room. So this VIP 1 ICP room, I created this because some people don't have diamond memberships or don't know how to do that, and hey, I have the 1 ICP room, gives me the money instead of OpenChat. So I made rooms for both of these to have different flavors, and that way, I wanted to try this pay gate function out as well. So you can create a room in OpenChat that's pay gated, where you have to pay to join that room. And I mean, I could have made it 100 ICP. There might not be anybody in there, but you can make it whatever you want. When OpenChat takes 20% of the 1 ICP that right now 26 people besides me have paid 1 ICP to join the room, and because I keep giving it away, I only have 3 ICP left. OpenChat takes 20% of that. But what's really cool, OpenChat then puts that into the service nervous system, which brings value to the chat token. Because then, in order for that to get out of the service nervous system, someone needs to submit a proposal. As you can see, these proposals have been submitted in the past. You have to make a proposal to transfer treasury funds, and that has to be approved by holders of the token, which means this gives real value to the token. The business system itself that is collecting the payments is also sending it to an on-chain DAO that the token holders vote over, that has real control over how the money gets distributed. That is a huge breakthrough in crypto. There's no other system that has all that in place. So what are the questions what are the questions I missed? I would like to learn more about Mod Club. Sure. I would like to do more about Mod Club. Hugh says, do airdrop videos. So I just, if you're a diamond member of OpenChat, they have these, you can earn referral rewards. So when you refer somebody to OpenChat, you can earn referral rewards. And there's, what I see in the future is that a lot of these meme coins are going to start launching on ICP. Because some of the meme coins have really went off on ICP. Because when you get a meme coin on ICP, you can do a giveaway on ICP. For example, if there's a meme coin and it's added to OpenChat, you could do a giveaway for the meme coin in OpenChat and actually get it directly in people's wallets. So this has some of the best meme coin functionality anywhere is on ICP. MMX Performance, thank you for the love. All right, so Andy says, 2 problems I see, not fully open source and Dfinity has too much power. Thank you. Is this the question you were hoping I'd answer, or please repeat the question? Those are very good points. One reason it is not open source is to prevent people from copying it. If you've taken a look around crypto, there's a massive issue where there are developers and entrepreneurs that simply take code from other projects or take the entire blockchain and copy it. They raise billions of dollars just to copy a blockchain. Not mentioning any names in particular, but you get the point. There's a big problem in crypto of people simply just taking technology, copying it, launching a new coin, and then throwing money around everywhere for adoption. Therefore, it is understandable that with Dfinity, with the largest research and development team in blockchain, where they are innovating in ways that have never been seen before in crypto, it is understandable that they don't want to just give all this technology away at this point so that people can just copy it and launch their own rip-off chains. They do intend to continue to make more and more of it open source. But as you can see with things like Bitcoin, you have stuff open source. What do people do? They just copy it and launch their own version of the chain. And then that version of the chain will often pump a lot more than Bitcoin itself does. Next part of the question is about Dfinity having too much power. That is a very real issue. And for better or worse, you're always going to run into somebody having too much power without people knowing that the ultimate spiritual truth to me is that we are all God. This is our universe. Until you realize your identity is not an illusory and a transitory body or name or personality or a story or a mind structure, until you realize your own infinite reality, your own connection and being in God as a part of God, however you want to put it, then you're always going to be subject to some kind of centralized authority. And when you're operating in the world, there's always going to be someone who grabs power. And whether it's Amazon or Dfinity, to some degree, it doesn't really matter who that centralized authority is. There's a lot of... I've seen some videos talking of making Internet Computer and Dfinity out to be this... Like, they're going to remake the whole internet just to have control over it. Very dystopian futures presented with Internet Computer. And I say to you, like, what's the difference? Like, whether it's, Daddy Dominique or, Daddy Larry or Page or Mark Zuckerberg, like, there are already people who have huge amounts of power on this planet. And yes, the more Internet Computer grows, the more Dfinity's power in that ecosystem has the potential to grow as well. That said, I was talking to my wife about this, and she had a great point. I said there is a very real possibility that the entire internet and money is that internet computer is a tool to bring everybody into one single environment that will then provide for optimized levels of control. Right now, you've got people transacting and doing, you've got websites hosted in one place, transactions hosted with another. For example, on a website, then you have all these payment providers. There's lots of centralized points, but there's still a lot of diversity in how things are done. There's lots of different web hosts, although many of them are on Google, Amazon, Microsoft, DigitalOcean. On many web hosts all come back to the same few amount of providers. Our existing infrastructure, though, is pretty fragmented in many ways right now. Internet computer is so good that you could theoretically rebuild the whole internet on it, in which case you would put everybody in one single system. If you picture everybody's doing transactions on ICP, using apps on ICP, then now Dominique and Dfinity say that there's no backdoors, that it's fully transparent. There have been people who've audited it. I personally can't say whether that's the case or not. Some people make out that internet computer is so good that everything will move on to it. And in that case, it would actually make it easier to have a one world government, a dystopian future where everybody gets on internet computer and then everybody's controlled through internet computer. I told this to my wife yesterday and she said, well, at least since it's blockchain, it would be more transparent and public. And that's my view on it, is that even if there is the dystopian scenario where Dfinity indefinitely retains huge amounts of power and control over internet computer and is able to basically, do whatever they wanted to and control everybody, at least everything would be on the blockchain and you could see what was going on. When our existing system, it appears there are definitely a very small group of people who have a very large influence over everything that happens. And many of them are either discreet or they're the CEO of some big company. And right now, the things that are going on behind the scenes, there's no transparency. You can't see the trillions of dollars that are lost through the Pentagon that are totally unaccounted for, that have been created through inflation and or taxes. Trillions of dollars. Trillions. At this point, it's estimated 10 plus trillion dollars has went missing through the Pentagon. No accountability for that at all. I mean, someone knows where it's at, but 99.99% of people don't know where it's been, where it's gone. At least even in the dystopian scenario, internet computer does give us the ability to have more transparency in the world we already have. For example, look at internet computer, the Launchpad. So remember, I'm going like the most negative possible scenario here, where we're essentially building the infrastructure that's going to make it possible to control all of us in one place. Like, that's kind of the most negative outlook you could have. In that scenario, there's more transparency though. For example, on the ICP Launchpad, when these projects raise ICP, like Gold DAO is aiming to raise 1 million ICP, you're going to be able to see exactly what they do with it. And some of the projects on internet computer have caused an outrage. Some that I've invested in, some that I haven't. Some of them have caused an outrage because they raised a whole bunch of ICP and then they just took almost all of it out of the treasury. Just the ICP though, not the token itself. And people were screaming, rug pull, rug pull. It's not a rug pull. It's transparency. Because when you're using the rest of these crypto launchpads and ICOs, there's no transparency. Or there's almost no transparency. You're sending stuff off to an address, and you have no idea who's doing what with the token because the DAO's not on chain, the launchpad's not on chain. There's just billions of dollars of crypto being thrown around on these other launchpads, and there's no accountability for where the underlying assets got spent. There's airdrops and sacrifices and people sending their money off with an expectation that they may not even get anything back. what's there, the accountability on internet computer, because it's on chain and it's on the blockchain, the accountability and transparency is much higher than the rest of what we have today. So to me, even in the dystopian scenario where Dfinity somehow maintains, you know, absolutely, like in the dystopian scenario where Dfinity basically rules internet computer, even then there's more transparency. So it still will be an improvement over what we have today. I don't think that that's the direction we're going, though, because if you look at the Dfinity voting power, you can see how much voting power, and Dfinity has consistently dropped voting power. When this thing first came out, Dfinity had 38, and Internet Computer combined, Internet Computer Association, had 38% of the voting power. And if you look, Internet Computer Association acquired a good bit more here. It's down to 19%. So in 2 years, the direct voting power has dropped by about half. 19% voting power is not enough to just decide exactly what happens in a lot of cases. Now, I know some of you that are very well informed will argue that there's a lot of people following Dfinity, which makes perfect sense because Dfinity's in a good position, in my opinion, when they've got the largest research and development team in blockchain, when they've created Internet Computer, when you have 270 plus team members. I think they're in a position to make a good decision about most of the things that are there to be voted on. I mean, most of my votes have followed Dfinity. I followed them directly, and then I've manually voted in the same way they have. Is Dfinity at this point is in a great position to make decisions. And it according to what they're saying, Bobby O, thank you for another $20 super chat, Bobby O. Let me go ahead and, Bobby, if you want more Internet Computer videos, I watch all of Bobby O's videos on Internet Computer. I love the video he made that I watched yesterday. Talks about that he started making videos on Internet Computer because no one else was making them and because they needed to be made. I get a lot of ideas and inspiration from Bobby O's videos. I'm happy to see so many people are watching his videos as well. So if you enjoy my videos, Bobby O is just like very much like me, like real, raw, authentic Internet Computer content. So really appreciate your consistent support, Bobby. It looks like Internet Computer Dfinity is what they have planned is that over time they are consistently decentralizing Internet Computer Protocol more and more. And the outlook they have is that they are taking 20 years to build this infrastructure out completely, and that right now Internet Computer is kind of like a baby. It's very delicate. It can't really stand up for itself as much. It needs Dfinity and Dominic to be the dad. And who's the mom? Is Jan, what do y'all think? Is Jan the mom? But Dominic's the daddy of Internet Computer. I think we could all agree on that. And then we can debate who the mom is. Or maybe there's two dads or whatever. Maybe there's 270 moms and dads. But Dfinity is like the parents right now, and Internet Computer is like a baby. And Internet Computer needs to be in a position where dumb governance decisions are not going through, because you could ruin Internet Computer theoretically by passing bad proposals. And at this point, the community is not if you think of Internet Computer Protocol in years, it's only a couple years old. You need kind of the parents to safeguard it at this point to make sure it develops properly. As the technology gets built out further, then, and the technology is more established, it'll be in a better position, just like raising kids, where you don't need the parents to constantly be holding the kids' hands. So Dfinity is looking at this as they continue to build and develop this further, that the voting power will continually decentralize more and more, and that DFIDity's influence and need to do everything that it does for Internet Computer will continue to be less and less, especially once they get things built. Then you don't have to constantly have them manage it. Once it's built and functioning, you know, building and functioning stuff, like building something like Chainkey, Bitcoin, Chainkey, Ethereum, that takes a lot of hard work. Maintaining it often is much easier than just getting the initial technology built and functional. Yes, I encourage any of you that feel like things need to be said to just make your own videos. Like Bobby does his videos very, like, just on a laptop, straight down to earth, says what he thinks, uploads it. I mean, that's how I started making my videos also. And I basically do the same thing today. I just have upgraded various things like my camera and my microphone since I've started doing this. I've been doing this for 12 years. I made over 10,000 videos, thousands of live streams. I just, you know, I've just done this a lot. So if you have something to say, by all means, make videos and get your voice out there. Mojimbo says SEC will crush 99% of altcoins as they'll be securities. Only ICP and a few others will survive. What's nice about ICP is that it has the resources to handle things like, you know, token being called a security, etc. What I also see that I really like, I looked through the tokenomics, or where the neurons are on Internet Computer. The neurons on Internet Computer look like they're continually decentralizing more and more, and that regular people are continuing to lock up more ICP. Here's an exciting thing I saw on the dashboard. So for the people that are like ICP, you know, all the ICP critics that aren't really, that are just kind of blindly fudding, look at the amount of ICP that keeps getting locked up and not dissolved. But specifically, look what happened recently. Right here, I think this might have been an SNS project like OpenChat or something. But right now, you have right here on between November 27th and 29th, there was 700,000 ICP that got locked up for 0 to 1 years. 700,000 ICP that got locked up in a single day. If you look at the trend, I remember this just went over 200 million when I started. When I started doing videos every day, or when I went all in on ICP, actually a significant amount had just got powered down and taken out. I started doing videos right before it went over 200 million. It was around here. Since I started doing videos about ICP, there's now 4 million or so more ICP that's been staked, not dissolving. So this means it's not in the process of unlocking. This means indefinitely unlocked. The ICP that was locked up here is not unlocking. In the meantime, when this first came out, there was 121 million that was dissolving, and there's only 45 million that's dissolving now. This means you've got a lot of the supply that is locked and not moving. We have never seen like a top 5 crypto that has that property before. I mean, you know, one that like stayed up there for a long time. We've never seen one with this kind of functionality in the top before. This is really exciting. Yes, there are a lot of funny things that happen on crypto YouTube and on X. One thing you want to remember is that there's often a lot of bots. Some of these cryptos, when you're talking about money and giving people the potential to make lots of money, there are a small amount of people that will go to any lengths to push their projects they've invested in. What I'm happy to see is Internet Computer clearly is doing an organic marketing-based approach with very small amounts of paid marketing here and there. Like I signed a contract for $5,000 of ICP to make a month's worth of videos. after I had already done a whole bunch for free without even knowing that it was possible to get a sponsorship. So there are some, that's a lot smaller sponsorship than a lot of other cryptos would have given me. To do a month's worth of videos, I mean, there's cryptos that probably would have gave me like 20 to 50,000 to do that many videos. Many who would give 500 to 1,000 for a single video. And there's a little bit of community grants and paid marketing from ICP, but their basic strategy is to fund developers and to show up and network with the right people in the right events, like at this COP28 conference that Dominique was at. I mean, that's in the short term, that might not get the kind of action that some of the paid marketing does, but in the long term, check out the video of the voluntary recycling credits that was up on YouTube. I mean, that's absolutely outstanding. Here we go. This is a nice statistic Dominic just put up too. So right now, DeFi Llama just successfully integrated the DAO governance proposals on the ICP ecosystem. The Internet Computers Network Nervous System DAO is the clear winner out of all the DAOs on DeFi Llama. And Open Chat is second place, or right up there. It has the most proposals in the last 30 days. This is a coin that's on Internet Computer. There are these little data points you can see, and Sonic is another one on Internet Computer. There are these little data points you can see that are showing you where the future's going. DAOs are definitely the future. Internet Computer has the best DAO technology in the whole market. It has the best launchpad technology in the entire market. And when you start to see things locking up huge amounts of the ICP supply, Gold DAO, at the rate, if it's successful, this is going to lock up 800,000 more ICP that will be off the market for 8 years. I've seen a lot in crypto, like I've never seen so much data all pointing in the same direction, except with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And the only difference is I didn't have the patience to fully realize the benefits of being in on Bitcoin in 2014 and Ethereum in 2016. Visionary Bedrock says, what's the point if ICP does everything on chain, what's the point of Immutable X? So Immutable X is an Ethereum layer 2 that I've used a lot to buy and sell Gods Unchained cards. And while it was a much better experience than trading on Ethereum directly, it was a difficult experience to kind of learn and figure out how it works. One reason you don't hear everybody talking about ICP right now is once you find out that the best Bitcoin layer 2 technology is already out and working on ICP, and that they just launched the Ethereum layer 2, once the Ethereum layer 2 gets built out to its full potential within the next year or so, the Internet Computer will have the absolute best. It already has the best capabilities in terms of a layer 2 technology. There's really no need for any other layer 2. With what you can do on Internet Computer, there's no need for another layer 2. As you can imagine, that's problematic. A lot of creators have mentioned ICP, but they don't talk about ICP all the time and really differentiate it, because what I've done with my channel, I've actually lost a lot of views by not talking about all these other cryptos. Now, I'm grateful the ICP community comes through really strong and supports. That said, if I did a live stream every day about a different crypto and just occasionally mentioned ICP, just look at some of the other channels. I was growing much, I don't know if that's accurate. I was getting out to a lot more new people when I was consistent. My channel grew most rapidly when I hyped up different altcoins every day. If you remember my old crypto channel, or when I started this channel, when I hyped up different, I'll show you some of the most popular videos. This is what I was doing when I started my new channel, this new crypto channel. I have a main channel where on this main channel, I was one of the most popular crypto YouTubers in the world in 2017, 2018. Like they're all, I was among like a handful of the top crypto YouTubers on this original channel, and I already told you how that ended up going. Now I do everything but crypto on this channel. For example, I'm doing I am healthy affirmations for healing with live music tomorrow. I know the first thing you're going to think is that's going to totally be a waste of my time. Why would I do that? I mean, you might think that's awesome. I'll definitely be going, but in that case, you're already sold and I'll see you there. If not, this stuff works really well. If you've got any health problems, I mean, I've eliminated almost all of my health problems through working on my mind through things like this. And this is me kind of looking to finish all the rest of them off. Anyway, look at what I did on my channel. I just bought different cryptos and hyped them up. I bought Cardano one day, I bought XRP one day, I bought Quant. I did buy ICP one day. And look at, now keep in mind, when I made this video, I had a fraction of the subscribers I had now. Same thing on this one, same thing on this one, same thing on this one. I mean, look what I did. I just hyped up all these different altcoins, and my channel absolutely ripped. My channel ripped from doing that. Now, I start talking internet computer every single day. I'm not getting out there to all those other communities. So there's a lot of people that do what I do that they're not willing to just commit to talking about internet computer every day because they don't want to give up $5,000, $10,000 for a sponsored video on some other crypto. Or they don't want to trash all the rest of their bags. They're not ready to commit to ICP yet. Or they don't want to give up huge amounts of viewers on talking about all these other cryptos. But just give it some time. The more educated crypto investors are generally, the more people are going to keep wanting ICP content. The more people are going to dump all these other cryptos like I did. And the more you're going to keep getting people talking about ICP. You're going to have more channels that out of their own integrity, they will ditch all the other altcoins. Because once you realize, I've realized the hard way that if I just give you a bunch of bad information in the short term, I can profit. But in the long term, that will come back to haunt me. That's why I'm obsessed now. Like, how do I give you the very best information today? On average, you all have spent 14 minutes so far watching this live stream. And I want those minutes to be worth it. I want those minutes to be so worth it that you might not ever need to watch another video from me. All I did is tell you about internet computer. You did your own research. You set it up. You left it. You followed Definity on your votes. And you just indefinitely got voting rewards and things worked out great for you. Like, I want you to have the potential that in 14 minutes of your time, you could hear stuff that would completely change how you would see the rest of crypto. If I can give you that kind of value, then that works out great for me and I feel good about myself. Sam says, I love your videos. Could you share a bit more about ICP tokenomics? Yes, I would definitely be happy to go into that. What did Bobby say? Institution will want a complete, robust, and governance system that is on-chain. Yes. A huge use case I see for ICP is governments and organizations that want to implement a DAO or that want to get their money out there where it can be transacted worldwide. For example, picture El Salvador. They made Bitcoin legal tender. They clearly want to get off the US dollar as a reserve currency. Any countries that want to get off the US dollar as a reserve currency and bring more value to their own currency. For example, these governments around the world could launch their currency as an SNS token and let people anywhere vote on what the country did and potentially raise a bunch of money for themselves. I know this is a bit in the future, but there are governments around the world that are really desperate to do things to change the life of their people and their governments around the world that will embrace this technology and see that they can bring abundance to their people through it. So so let's look at some more about the ICP's tokenomics. I also realized that, yes, I don't have that much time to really do a deep dive on every crypto. So I'm not doing crypto reviews anymore because I also don't want to just do really shallow looks. I realize I've done shallow looks at a lot of cryptos and criticized them, but to be fair, most cryptos are nothing more than shallow projects. They've copied code and technology from other projects, and they've launched it, and they use narratives, and they pay people to talk about it, and that's most of crypto. Copied technology, paid marketing. Now, paid marketing, if it's matched with integrity, is fine. But paid marketing done like, hey, just give me this money and I'll say whatever you want, that's a problem. So let's look at the tokenomics for ICP. This is one of the biggest areas of confusion and misinformation. So we're going to do a little bit of math now, and I'll show you the actual inflation. So we're not talking about token unlocks. We're talking about the actual inflation. Because if you're going to talk token unlocks, you also need to talk token locks and the value, the utility of it. So let's look at the total supply, 492,613,206. Can you remember that? 492,613,206. I get that right? We'll just put the actual, yeah, 492,613,206. All right, and this one, we're going to divide by, I should have started with this one, but we'll just inverse it. 510, 313, 168. Divide by 510, 313, 168. And inverse. There you go. This is the real inflation of the supply in Internet Computer in the last year. That's the real inflation. We just calculated it using the official Explorer here. Now, if I wanted to manipulate the data, if I wanted to try and make it look like the inflation was really high, what I would do is use the old definition of circulating supply, which this is what some people with huge audiences are intentionally, I can't say they're doing it by sloppiness at this point, because I've seen some people with big audiences repeatedly, and what to me looks like intentional misrepresentation of the data. If I wanted to manipulate your idea of this, I would use the old circulating supply definition and then change it and then put that over the total, or, I'd use the old circulating supply, and I would exploit the change in circulating supply definition to make it look like this thing had crazy inflation. But the fact is, 1.0359 is the actual amount of supply, total supply versus a year ago supply. Now, you need to consider since this has locking and unlocking, another metric for the supply is staked dissolving and staked not dissolving. What we can see is there's 201 million ICP out of 510 is locked and not dissolving. So we'll do is it 210? 201. Clear all. 201 divided by 510. So right now, 39% of the supply is locked and it is not being unlocked, with 134 million of it locked for 8 years. So if we divide 134 by 201, 66% of the locked supply cannot be unlocked at a minimum for 8 years. And then you've got the rest of it. There's only 18 million of this that even can be unlocked in the next year, but it's not even being unlocked. Right now, you have in total 48% of the supply is locked right now, which if you look back throughout the entire history of it, the amount of locked supply is continuing to increase, and we can even compare the locked supply with inflation. If we go back a year from now, we can compare the locked supply with inflation. Right here, there was 263 million total locked before, a year ago, and now there's 247 million that's locked now. So if we divide 263 by 247, 263 by 247, so there's been about 6.5% has been, the total staked has been reduced by 6.5%. So even if you put together the total difference between staked and unstaked, so if you combine token unlocks with total inflation supply, combining total unlocks with total inflation, the maximum real number is 10%. That's the maximum number you could possibly get if you honestly appraise the data. 10% is extremely reasonable when you look at what else is going on out there. If you look at most of the other cryptos, especially those in the top that have infinitely inflationary supplies, 10% is totally reasonable. Now, I realize there's cryptos like Ethereum. They are deflationary right now. Internet computer has the potential to be deflationary as the network continues to get adopted more. Thus, a 10% total actual difference between staked versus unstaked and actual inflation. I mean, that's outstanding for as early as we are into this. I think that's fantastic, because here's what you really need to consider. What is going to happen in the future? What we've seen over the last year, a year ago, we had 85 million ICP that was unstaking. That's a drop in 40 million. Almost half the amount of unlocks in ICP from a year ago versus now, almost 50% lower. So it looks like to me, based on the data, we've actually made it through the worst of the token unlocks. And if you look at what's coming in the future, it looks like in the future, we're going to see that most of the ICP that's being unlocked is going to come to an end. Trying to remember where that data I looked at was. It looks like the token unlocks are mostly coming to an end. And because in 2017 they sold like 25% of the supply on an initial like token launch, and the seed investors have been cashing out, but the seed investors are about to be finished. So once the seed investors get finished, which should happen within the next few months, once the seed investors get finished, then that's looking really, really nice. Here we go. I found the data on icscan.io here. So look at this. Here's the data on the remaining token unlocks that are coming. There's a big token unlock happening December 10th. There's a big token unlock December 10th for 1.3 million ICP. Then there's another one January 9th, 1.3 million ICP. These are approximate also. Then there's another one February 9th, 1.3 million. It looks like to me these are like seed investors' initial supply kind of thing. Then the last big multi-million unlock is April 10th. Now, I don't think this is a coincidence. It's been perfectly timed for the Bitcoin halving. It looks like it's been perfectly set up for a bull run. That's the last of the big token unlocks that are on the radar. You can see here everything that's dissolving when it's going to unlock. Now, yes, there's other tokens that could be unlocked, but this will finish off the token unlocks, the big, huge token unlocks that have really been putting a lot of extra supply out there. Then there's one for 480,000 on the 10th. After that, we don't have very many unlocks after that. By comparison, and this is where I see this going. Corey, nice to see you today. Where I see this going is that once these big token unlocks stop, there's going to start being more ICP that gets locked than unlocked. I watched this in one of the Definity research, like the R&D updates they do every month. It looks like in the next few months, the amount that's locked will exceed the amount that's unlocked. In that case, the circulating supply will then perhaps indefinitely continue to shrink. That's what's really exciting to me, is when we get into a phase where the circulating supply continues to shrink over time. That's the ultimate in tokenomics you're looking for, isn't it? Maximum utility, shrinking circulating supply. The internet computer has been designed so that the plan was to have a network set up where 90% of the supply would be locked and used for governance. Therefore, I'm continuing to DCA myself, especially until these token unlocks are finished, like these huge token unlocks. Now, there can always be new token unlocks that come up, but from what we can see, the majority of the big token unlocks are going to finish by April 2024. And from there, it's going to be real exciting to see what happens, especially in terms of what applications are built on Internet Computer. Exactly. Lexitrick says, please realize the tokenomics of this project were developed by PhDs in economics and meant for the next 50 years and not the next 12 to 24 months. And that's what I've been looking for in crypto, is I want something that will last for 50 years. That will not just have a quick pump and dump and go out of style after that, but something that's fundamentals are strong. The more I've used Internet Computer, the more I see that the level of thought and consideration into the details of this are amazing. Because I've researched a lot of cryptos. And one advantage I have with all the cryptos I've researched, and thank you, Octavio, for subscribing on my original channel. One of my passion projects is bringing this nearly dead original channel back to life. So thank you for subbing on the original channel. My original channel, I deleted all the videos off it to start over earlier this year. And I'm doing everything but crypto on this channel. And some of the stuff, if you like hanging out on my live streams, every other day I'm streaming on this channel. All right, back to the ICP. What's helped me with all the cryptos I've researched, I've watched cryptos that with a combination of marketing and scarcity tokenomics, they've managed to rocket themselves into huge positions, even without any at all technological fundamentals. What happens is, that works great for a little pump and dump and everybody gets wrecked except insiders usually, and influencers who, got handed a token often for free or bought it early and then pumped it. What's so exciting about ICP is when you actually look at how the tokenomics are designed, you can feel the level of intelligence that's been put into this. You can feel the PhDs in economics. When you look at the tokenomics and how this is working, the voting rewards, the governance, the technology, the token utility, we've never seen anything like this before. Where a crypto with this much utility is combined with a very well thought out tokenomic system. Now, I do need to add, because I'm a big believer in good, bad, and ugly, the tokenomics so far, with all the token unlocks, have been a challenging period to get through. When you've had the token unlocks from 121 million to 45 million, that's been a rough ride. That has been a rough ride. But I think you've got through the rough part of the ride. And to be fair, there's a bunch of other rough rides in crypto. Many other top projects have had very similar token unlocks. The ICP supply, from what I see, is absolutely shrinking on exchanges. Binance just ran out of ICP in the hot wallet. And you can look at the exchange balances. There's a website called 221 Bravo. Got a lot of tabs open. Here we go. And it's in the paid membership section. In the paid member section, I might need to sign into this. In the paid member section on 221bravo.app, And you can always ask for any of these in my open chat. So here we go. Look at the exchange balances here. So the exchange balances over the last few months for ICP has went from 47 million down to 44 million. 3 million ICP taken off exchanges. And then it looks like Binance had a cold wallet that nobody knew about, and that put up to 46. Now look at this. Drained back down to 45 million. So if you looked at Binance had to take one of their cold wallets out and put 4 million back on, the ICP is draining off of exchanges, which is great because having these centralized exchanges are where all the manipulations can happen in the market. I've personally taken 2,800 ICP off of exchanges myself. I hold all my ICP in the network nervous system because if the network nervous system fails, I mean, it's all going down. So to me, the safest place to have ICP is in the network nervous system. My opinion, which I guess this is all my opinion, isn't it? And all educational and entertaining material. I've done my own research. And I'm presenting the research here. I don't see that it's worth using a ledger to further secure my ICP wallet, because that actually adds an additional layer of complexity. If you want to see everything on how to use the network nervous system and internet identity, there's 2 tutorials I have on that. So internet identity, just search internet identity Jerry Banfield. I did a 28-minute video on how to set your wallet up, how to get phrases. Now, someone messaged me to ask if I wanted to do a call for a couple $100 to talk about this. I'm like, well, why don't you watch my video first and see if you can do it yourself? Because if you can do it yourself, I mean, there's no reason to pay to talk to me. And if you want to watch tutorial on the network nervous system and see how to stake everything, then I have that. That's an hour of tutorials that'll show you how to do everything. Now, yes, the internet computer is a bit complex. If it's a learning curve if you're used to using all these others. And yes, Bitcoin did have a rough ride. And when I was buying Bitcoin at 170, it was hard for me to even picture Bitcoin much above a couple thousand. And I remember being absolutely shocked when Bitcoin went to 20,000. Because there's a term in crypto called anchoring bias, where the lowest price you buy something at is kind of what you think it should be. Anchoring bias is why people think gas prices are so expensive now, who remember buying gas for cheaper. It's anchoring bias. The first price you lock in on something at is your baseline price. And I think Bitcoin's obscenely expensive now because my anchor price for Bitcoin's 170. That's the lowest I bought it at. And therefore, it was hard for me to even picture it being much higher because my anchoring bias was so low. I do not have the same problem with ICP. J Classic, thank you for the $10 in Canadian. Good question. Is internet computer better suited to handle black market activities? That's a great question. So the most honest answer I can give is, I don't know. My next live stream, which you all have expressed frustration talking to me that you've missed so many of my live streams. So I'm scheduling them in advance now. My next live stream at 10 a.m., 2 days, which will be about 3 hours before this. In 2 days, we're going to talk about ICP, a top privacy crypto with vet keys bringing on-chain encryption to internet computer protocol. So if you want to talk ICP and privacy, that's going to be the main topic for conversation on Wednesday's live stream. Vet keys is going to allow on-chain encryption and all kinds of privacy. Now, I know they have to be careful with what you can do on ICP because, for example, somebody put a Mario game emulator on ICP, and right now you can remove something from ICP by making a network nervous system proposal. That's the only way you can take a canister off, from what I understand. However, boundary nodes can censor access to certain websites. And most of the boundary nodes are controlled by Dfinity now, although I believe it's possible to set your own solution up for that. So I don't know about, with everything being able to be built on chain, it is definitely possible. Internet Computer will work much better once you get the vet keys for privacy. And then, because right now everything is open on Internet Computer. So right now Internet Computer is not suited well for black market stuff in the sense that it's very open and accessible to everybody. Once they get vet keys on, which will be a big deal for anyone who wants to keep stuff private, especially enterprises. Enterprises will want to keep their stuff private and not have, all their stuff directly on chain, like exposed on chain. Once vet keys come online, though, Internet Computer may be the best option to do your black market stuff, but I obviously won't be participating in any of that. Because it's all on chain, it's set up much better to be able to do everything in one spot. So Internet Computer will be best suited to do almost, and is and will be best suited to almost do about anything. Internet Computer is absolutely something for the long term, because as I showed with Ethereum, there were many other things in 2017 that would have made you more multipliers than Ethereum, but there was almost nothing. There's almost nothing in crypto that's kept up with Ethereum in terms of growth in the long term. And what I've found is you want to think growth in the long term, both in terms of investments and in terms of your own personal life. What you don't want to do is just be trying to survive on a daily basis, because you often will do things that make sense to survive on a daily basis. Anything from committing crimes to being nasty and cheating people to, sacrificing your health. What you want to do in life is look at long-term thriving, long-term building a life that in the long term is everything you want, which in the short term might be more difficult and sacrificing, but it works out really well. Like for me, I'll give you an example with my personal life. Drinking alcohol was something that often worked for me on a short-term basis. Like 9.5, 10 years ago, I was an active alcoholic. I would drink like a gallon or so of liquor a week. And I would usually do that on 2 or 3 different days of the week, where I would drink like a half, a quarter. I drink like a liter or so of vodka throughout a day. I'd sit there and just make drinks with 2 shots each and just drink all day. Because I was thinking short term, like I feel bad today, I'm anxious, I'm frustrated, and I'm going to just drink and numb the pain and try and feel better. Drinking and often many similar substances and behaviors, addictive behaviors, are short-term solutions. Like, okay, I feel bad today, I want instantly to feel better and forget my problems, so I'm going to drink. But then it sets you up for the next day. Now the next day is worse because you took that short-term solution the day before, and now the next day is worse. Now I wake up the next day with a hangover, and even if they weren't huge regrets, just small regrets, I wake up a little bit worse the next day. And because I feel a little bit worse, now I even want that short-term solution even more. And then it builds into this negative reinforcement loop where by the end of my drinking, my life looks like it should have been going really well, but on the inside, it feels hopeless. And, that's about it for me. And in the short term, it was challenging to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and get sober and do without the short-term solution. But now look at my life. I mean, I have everything I want. All the problems I came into Alcoholics Anonymous with are gone. I love my life. I'm doing work that I love. I have great relationships with everybody. And that's possible because I stopped short-term gratification solution thinking and started thinking long-term. Like, where's the rest of my life going? And what do I need to do today to get my life on track for the long term? Same thing I see in crypto is a lot of crypto is very much like addictive, short-term, instant gratification. Give me something that will 10x tomorrow. But when you look at the picture of the long term, the only thing that matters in the long term is technology and real building on that technology. Like in the long term in crypto, that's why Bitcoin is number one. It was the first crypto. Ethereum's number two. It was the first smart contract platform. Huge technological breakthrough. And I see internet computers the third major breakthrough technologically. The first everything platform. And I'm glad I switched off of instant gratification in crypto and stopped looking at, well, how do I get the most people on my videos every day? And I started looking at, how do I give people information today that 8 years from now, they'll still be thanking me for? And most of crypto creators are doing short-term gratification. Like, you know, how do I get views today and maximize my profit today and make sales today? They're not thinking about, you know, how 8 years from now do I give people information that's still good? If you want a lot more about getting sober, I've ran into lots. Crypto attracts a lot of people with addictions, I find, because of the gambling risk element to it. A lot of people that don't have addictions also feel crypto is too risky. So if you've struggled with addictions, I got a lot of videos on my original channel about being sober. For example, I did a video here talking about much more about why I quit alcohol. Talked if you struggle with your weight. I did a video about how I've lost 70 pounds and kept it off. If you're struggling with a relationship, here's one about how I got over a breakup. If you want to learn more about building wealth, I have a video about, 44 surprising facts about millionaires. I continue to put videos up like this on my original channel. We're gonna bring this channel back, baby. We're gonna bring that original channel back. Anything else, we've now been live. I'm gonna do live streams every day, just one stream a day now. Visionary Bedrock. Can we speak on possible kill points of ICP? That's a great question. One of the biggest potential issues I see for ICP is if a competitor successfully gets up something similar. Right now, Internet Computer Protocol is so far ahead of everything else that we can see that it doesn't look like there's much of an issue with competition. However, this is a world full of, well, maybe not full of in terms of quantity, but there are people with lots of money and lots of power. When they find Internet Computer, some of them are going to be like, okay, let me buy, 50 million of this today to make sure I've got a say in it. And others of them are going to be like, you know what, let me throw 500 million at making a competitor to this so that I can get stuff on here. The biggest thing I see that could go wrong with Internet Computer is someone else making a very similar version that, someone like Google, Microsoft, Amazon putting out their own version of Internet Computer. The challenge is a lot of the same people you would need to do that already are working at Dfinity. And from their point of view, why would they want to leave? And another challenge with doing that is Internet Computer has a massive lead on any competition. So any competition, which is one reason I see that they keep their code closed source, any competition would have to essentially do everything Internet Computer already does, plus do some stuff better, and have a huge marketing budget, which then there's only a very relatively few people who could put something like that into motion. So competition, I see, is the biggest threat to Internet Computer. Some of these other chains, it's not very easy from what I see technologically to get these other chains set up so that they can function like Internet Computer because they haven't been built with that to begin with. It is possible, though, one of these other chains could try and build themselves out like Internet Computer also. However, if you look at what's happened in the past, usually the first mover usually has all the value go to them. So the first mover in crypto was Bitcoin. First mover in smart contracts was Ethereum. First mover in fully on-chain is ICP. One reason I don't see that the threat of competition from Amazon, Google, Microsoft is too big, at least in a everything crypto platform is because they already have an infrastructure. However, Amazon, Google, Microsoft could build out their own crypto functionality into their own hosting network, theoretically, and then put the full power of their hosting network combined with crypto. But still, they have so much infrastructure and they move so slowly, it would be difficult to get that in transition. But the better Internet Computer does, the more possible competitors may spring up. So that to me is the number one risk with Internet Computers, that if someone else puts out essentially the same thing, but they could get more marketing and more adoption, they might be able to stop Internet Computer. And perhaps that's part of the plan. Perhaps the plan is to try and keep Internet Computer small until one of these others can essentially steal the market share. But that's why I only have in Internet Computer what I can afford to completely lose. If, for example, my Internet Computer all went to zero, that would not make a difference to my day-to-day living. I have a house that I own with my wife that we have equity in. That's much more equity than I have in Internet Computer. My wife has around as much cash, if not more, than I do in Internet Computer, and similar kinds of investments like stock, money market, etc. I also have, I think I've got about 6,000 or 8,000 in cash myself. Like in the bank, I'm gonna go to the ATM, pull some more cash out today. It's always good to have at least 1,000 or a couple thousand in cash. You never know what could go on. I personally am diversified across all of my portfolio. When it comes to crypto, I have like 98% is in ICP, and then like 2% is in ICP tokens. I also have a couple of other cryptos that I've locked through staking, which I cannot unlock, which I will not mention those, because I'm taking them out as soon as I can and selling, moving into ICP. Lexatrix says a return on investment trying to build a competitor on IC wouldn't make sense. So another possible angle is that Google, Microsoft, Amazon, what they're trying to do is to get everybody to build on their infrastructure for crypto. And right now, that approach is working successfully. However, that approach is conditioned on people not understanding what a problem that is. What a problem it is that you have a coin on a blockchain, and then you have everything else that gives value to that coin on Amazon or Google. It doesn't matter where it is. But if it's not all on the same chain, the coin essentially has no real value because it has no real control over the assets. As long as people in crypto don't understand that, they can keep getting away with building stuff on centralized hosting and off-chain. But the smartest people in the space, you have people like Elon Musk that understands having stuff off-chain is worthless. That selling an NFT where the picture's hosted on IPFS is worthless. Elon Musk gets that, and Elon Musk has huge amounts of money to throw around. You would imagine people with big amounts of money to invest are going to be faster than retail to understand that on-chain is everything, and that ICP is all that does on-chain. Nothing else does everything on-chain. So ICP really is a blockchain singularity at this point. There's nothing else like it. At this point, it looks like it's a black hole to me. And while it is a smaller black hole now, black holes just keep sucking more stuff in and getting bigger and bigger. Yes, it is true. ICP does not need oracles. If you look at the website and you look at the HTTPS outcalls, what oracles basically do is HTTPS outcalls. Because most other cryptos are purely chains that do transactions and other fairly simple amounts of computation. So NFTs and addresses, who has which token, swapping different tokens. Most cryptos, if not any that I'm aware of, do not have the ability to actually do HTTPS outcalls. You mean, what does that mean? That means send something out to the Web 2 infrastructure and request data back through something like an API. This is why oracles like Chainlink have become such a big deal, is because blockchains like Ethereum, when you're using a decentralized exchange on Ethereum like Uniswap, Uniswap needs to know what the price is of Ethereum in US dollars, and it needs to know what the token value you're swapping against is in US dollars. The Ethereum blockchain itself cannot get that data. So this is why things like oracles have been brought in. And this is what makes building on these other chains so complicated, is on ICP, you can just build all of it in one spot. Although if you're used to building those other places, it's just like when I described getting sober. Getting sober only seemed difficult because it was doing things I hadn't done before, when really it was much easier to take the time and the initial pain to learn how to get sober and do without alcohol than to just keep doing things the way I was doing. In crypto, people are used to building now with oracles and then Amazon or Google hosting, and then using a blockchain and then a layer 2 on top of that sometimes. They're used to doing these things, and many of the times they're not aware that an easier all-in-one solution is available. Now, some have said it's easier to use these oracles on other chains than it is to use HTTPS outcalls on ICP. But that's probably because they're not used to doing them. Internet Computer can directly interact with the Web 2 world through HTTPS outcalls. And what this allows Internet Computer to do is be a layer 2 for Bitcoin and a layer 2 for Ethereum, because Internet Computer is actually able to send transactions. It's able to pull API or Advanced Program Interface price data directly from exchanges like Coinbase and anywhere. This gives you full control over your application too. When you build an application on Internet Computer, you can choose which price feed you want to pull, which is great for decentralization. So with oracles, oracles are essentially doing all the stuff that make things like Uniswap run. If you don't have an oracle for Uniswap, the blockchain itself doesn't know what the price is, therefore you couldn't swap it. Which is why crypto as it's designed is so problematic, because you have so much centralization in crypto right now. Even if the crypto itself, so to speak, is decentralized, the oracles are not decentralized in most cases. Now, that's not usually a problem, but it could be. The hosting structure is not decentralized, which almost always that is a problem. I agree. I don't think there's enough profit for the big cloud computing companies to challenge Internet Computer. What they'll probably do is what they've been doing now is try and just get crypto to build on them. I'm interested to see what happens, though, when Internet Computer gets adopted more, what these cloud companies like Amazon and Google are going to do to try and keep market share. As we've seen, though, sometimes when technology advances, sometimes entire industries just get slaughtered. For example, encyclopedias. I mean, you've had things like Wikipedia came along that have replaced encyclopedias. That's the big advantage of ICP, is it cuts out a bunch of the middlemen. It cuts out a lot of these services where once you learn to build on ICP, you don't need all these other services anymore. Exactly. Anything else to answer before we wrap up? I was aiming to keep my streams between 30 to 60 minutes when I was trying to do like 2 streams a day, but it's much easier to just schedule 1 live stream a day and then really give everything I've got into that 1 live stream and then wrap it up. Tomorrow's live stream, I've been working on getting this set up for a while. I'm going to be doing affirmation music, which will be really great to like program your mind to think health. And I'm going to be putting lots of interesting beats to it, not just having like a warm synth the whole time. So tomorrow's live stream will be on my original channel. And then the live stream after that, I've already scheduled. We're going to talk about vet keys on Internet Computer. We'll talk about lots of other stuff too, but we'll go into vet keys on this channel. We'll go into vet keys and dig into all the implications for that. Stan says, is it difficult to learn Motoko? 100,000, there are now 100,000 plus downloads for Motoko. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult to learn. What's been difficult to learn for certain things has been like the ICP infrastructure. But what's happening on ICP is some of these pain points are relevant to everybody, and then entrepreneurs are building tools to make it easier. One project on Internet Computer called BoomDAO saw that if you wanted to make a game on Internet Computer, because the technology was different, and because game developers might not want to take the time to learn how to use this new technology, BoomDAO has made a game launcher and a world engine. They've built an infrastructure you can use on Internet Computer to make it super easy to launch your game, get your token, and even be interoperable with other games. So what I think we're going to keep seeing on Internet Computer is more tools like BoomDAO that make it super easy to just get your applications up on Internet Computer. One thing we really need on Internet Computer is a content management system. Now, yes, somebody said before that there's apps that are closing down on Internet Computer. Sure, of course there are. Of course there's startups and entrepreneurs and developers on Internet Computer that are building stuff and that did not survive the last couple of years. True. However, there's new developers every month that are starting applications that are getting developer grants from Dfinity. And there are apps every month that are succeeding and growing and building users and launching tokens on Internet Computer. There's tons of opportunities to build things on Internet Computer. We need a WordPress equivalent on Internet Computer. There have been multiple things that have been built so far, but there's nothing that's been built that's as easy to use as as WordPress. And once somebody builds WordPress on Internet Computer, you're looking at massive adoption from new websites being hosted on Internet Computer, because it's way cheaper and more scalable to host your website. If nobody goes to your website on Internet Computer, it's almost free. It's very close to free to just put your website on Internet Computer. And then if it goes viral, as long as you've got 20, 30, 40 bucks of cycles, you can handle it. Why doesn't Dfinity hire me? Well, Dfinity's paid me $5,000 this month, $2,500 up front, $2,500 when I'm finished, to make videos on a community grant. And I only agreed to it because they did not require a non-disclosure or anything. So I'm able to talk about the terms of it. So they've paid me $5,000 to make videos that I was going to make anyway. Like, I would be making this same video today, except I would be talking a bunch about the price and price speculation and probably being more critical of other cryptos. But Dfinity said, please don't do that if you'd like our money. So I'm like, okay, then I'll accept the challenge. Let's not talk price or bash other cryptos specifically. And let's see what happens. Earthman says, I love your very informative YouTuber, doesn't fight against troll comments. Yes, I've done thousands of live streams. The troll comments on my videos that you see are nothing compared to what I've seen before. I was one of the top gamers on Facebook. I was a Facebook partner. I was very well known. And that if you combine all the troll comments from this one live stream, there were often that many every minute or two on my Facebook videos. And way worse than you've seen. The comments were so brutal there, it's hard to describe. One thing that I found really helpful for my own investing in crypto that I've consistently told people who schedule calls with me on my website, anything you're holding, make sure you've actually used it. I talked to an investor recently on one of my one-on-one calls. They were holding more than $10,000 of an altcoin. And I asked them, I said, have you used every altcoin in your portfolio? They showed me their portfolio of hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto, a whole bunch of different cryptos. And I said, out of these ones that you're holding at least $10,000 of, have you actually used every single one of them? And they said, on this one, I've never used it. And I said, all right, simple logic to me. Simple logic to me. You've never used this crypto and you're holding more than $10,000 of it. Logic would dictate to me that you should either try using it so you can feel the technology and the community and the ecosystem yourself, or you should sell that one into one you do use. I figured out Internet Computer was so far advanced beyond everything else because I actually used it, and I actually used a whole bunch of these other ones. Why don't you share your public wallet? If you want to tip or anything, I had a link that was working, but the connection with Coinbase broke. If you want to do tips and giveaways, pop into my open chat channel, and I encourage you to do some giveaways to the community. I gave away 5 ICP on this live stream earlier today, and yeah, come. You can tip me or give money to anybody. Try joining on Jerry Banfield University Open Chat, which is linked on jerrybanfield.com, which is hosted on Internet Computer. I just got a message that the guy who set up my hosting, I think he just made a guide for it. Lisa, thank you very much for being here for the whole live stream, Lisa, or for the beginning, middle, and end. Really appreciate the 15 gift subs today, the membership, you being a member. Really appreciate, Lisa, your love and support. Should I give away? I'll give away some more. Let me give away. How about this? I'm going to give away all my chain key Bitcoin right now. I'm going to give away all my chain key Bitcoin right now. And this is going to show you, this will show you the power of Internet Computer Protocol. This is only something you can do on Internet Computer Protocol. So I'm going to, this is how it works. So you go to Open Chat. I'm going to click the gift button. I'm going to switch my chain key Bitcoin. I'm going to give away $30 of Bitcoin's twin on Internet Computer right now. And we'll distribute it to any user. We'll do like 20, let's do 30 winners this time. Everybody have like $1 in Bitcoin. And I'm going to just give away all the chain key Bitcoin I've got. We're going to give away right now. Click send. Now, look at this technology. This is the absolute best technology in the world for doing a Bitcoin giveaway. There is no better way to do a Bitcoin giveaway. Watch this. So it's loading. It's loading. It is about to start. 30 people. Ah! It didn't work. It didn't work. Oh, crap. Well, with Internet Computer, it often will have little issues like that. So let me try this again. I'll try it with, let's see if it'll work with equal distribution, any user. Let's try this. I might have to reload the page. So we're going to try and do this again. This is something you can only do on Internet Computer. It's fast. It's nearly instantaneous. Any crypto influencers like, all right, let me reload. I'm going to reload this page and see if it works. Sometimes the giveaways break. Oh, net. All right, let's delete these. This is only something you can do on Internet Computer. And once more crypto creators realize that you can do this, like once more crypto creators realize you can do this, there are going to be a lot more people who move their communities onto Open Chat and who get into the Open Chat token and the governance. Because, crap, the giveaways aren't working. The giveaways aren't working. So let me show you this then instead. Let me see if I can tip somebody. So I'm going to just drop some, whoops, that was an ICP, but fine. I'm going to start dropping dollar tips. I'm going to start dropping dollar tips right now. Just making it rain. Dollar bills in here. I'm dropping dollar tips in my Open Chat right now. Just throwing out, look how fast this is. These are going out in chain key Bitcoin too, which is a 1-to-1 Bitcoin twin. I don't want to hit anybody more than once. I'm throwing out dollar tips in my open chat in Bitcoin. Just making it rain. Where else can you do this? There's nowhere. There's literally nowhere else that I've seen. Maybe I've missed it. Who did I almost missed that guy, didn't I? And some of these people may not even see that I tipped them. They'll just notice the chain key Bitcoin sitting in their wallet. Look at this technology. I know, I'm a big spender, right? Y'all are throwing the money out here. I'm throwing it out there. So I had a way to pop up a notification directly on stream. I'll throw out a few more of these. I know, big spender, right? Big spender just throwing it around. Dollar Bitcoin tips out like it's nothing. This is what is special on Internet Computer. This is what you can do. Imagine how many other people are going to bring people over to Internet Computer because they can't have a community in crypto that doesn't do this. Because they want this functionality. I think I already tipped that guy, didn't I? There, I've cleaned my wallet out now. I just dropped like $30 or something in Bitcoin tips. Maybe it was less. And that's it. That's a free channel. Anybody can join. Oh, that last tip didn't work. All right, I'll do a couple of ICP tips here too. I'll give out some more ICP tips. This is what is amazing technology. And wait, they don't even have stable coins on this yet. Soon you're going to be able to do tips in stable coins. So this is, you can see right here, you can see what this is doing. And that's what's special, is that many of these cryptos require you to take a leap of faith and hope that they're going to do something. You can see the technology working on Internet Computer. The one and only. Thanks for the laugh right there. Yes, it is really cool when it actually works. I've set my open chat up where everybody can join now. Everybody can join, and then there's special channels. Is it airdrops? A gift, there's airdrop functionality, then there's gifting functionality, then there's tipping. So there's more ways to send crypto than anything else. All right, we've got 2.5 hours. It is time to turn this off. Well, let's wrap this up. I'll shout y'all out. I really appreciate you being here live. I'll end the recording now. And we'll start uploading the recording on Twitter, because that's going to take a minute. I'll go ahead and start uploading that on Twitter. 7 gigabytes, 2.5. Oh, is it? I hope it's not too big to stick into Twitter. Oh! I'll shout you all out and we'll wrap up. Thanks for making this a great live show. I'm going to do a live show like this every other day on this channel. I'm going to do a live show like this every other day on this channel. If you want to be there for the next one, the next show is tomorrow on my original channel. And my show on the original channel will probably be a lot more key, a lot smaller community. So the original channel will be everything but crypto. So we won't be talking crypto, music, personal development, spirituality, sobriety, recovery, health. Talk a lot of that. I'm bringing this channel back, baby. I deleted all my videos. I'm going to start over. Celtic Knight, thank you for the $2 from Australia. Much love. Is it the fee to send tips to people is small? The fee to send tips to people is pretty small. Although I think I did... The chain key Bitcoin fee looks like it's a little bigger. Lexitrick, I really appreciate all your comments. And to be fair, I hope all my research is accurate, because if it's not, somebody said you're leading all your sheep off the edge of a cliff. I'm like, well, I hope not. If we do go over the cliff, I hope we're going to take a leap of faith and start levitating and just fly off into the sunset. So thanks for being here, Lisa, Celtic Knight, JMVR, MG Video, Lexitrick, Y King, Patrixion, Romulus. Nice to see all these member badges from Lisa. Justin. Who else did I not? The one and only Elias. If you want to chat with me while I'm offline, jerrybanfield.com. You can schedule a call with me for the best experience. hop in Discord or Open Chat. Open Chat's obviously the most popular one. Discord's the one that's actually on my phone where I get notifications. I love this new interface with the chat too. I'll make sure to have the chat pulled up like this. HA, nice to see you. Premski Magar, how to join ICP in Open Chat. Just use the link on jerrybanfield.com. It'll take you right in there. Adobe Flash Shorts, GB. Much love. All right, my friends, time for me to have some lunch. Get ready for the live stream tomorrow. Love you each, and I'll hope to see you on the live stream tomorrow if you're available and you want to listen to some music and do some healing. Thanks for making this one so much fun. Mo, check if you want to see for ICP. I did a video about that. I did a video called How Many ICP to Be a Millionaire. Check that video out. I'll even copy and paste that for you. Checkout time. We gotta go.